Hello everybody, my name is John Fredrickson. You already know me as a start animator or a hobby artist, and I'm sorry for the cramped space. I am going live next Sunday. You subscribe and see when I'm going live. Thinking of we doing some character art this time, and actually character art of this animation that I have been working on for for a little while at least. And I get some questions, and I got a question about this specific animation, the one I'm working with right now, the one I'm cleaning up. And the question follows as such. I'm just gonna bring this one up here, and we can read it together, because that would be nice, wouldn't it? Here we go. I am curious to what the next step is. Do you scan the paper? Use a camera setup? Do you use regular paper or tracing paper? So many questions. There was during a part of the animation I was doing, showing it over on the internet, and I get some quite really nice questions. So let's jump into that, shall we? So to start off with a question, do you scan or do you take pictures? Your camera setup? Well, I used to scan, but my scanner right now has completely died, and it's gonna take a while to get me a new one. But again, trying to stay as traditional as possible, I using a camera setup, and this is a single layer camera. I take photos of a traditional 2D animation that I've done the sketch and all that, and then you can see this. It's a normally single camera, but this one helps me a lot, because if I start playing it, you can see the whole movement, and it kind of helps me already to see how the whole animation looks. This is my rough, as it would be named, so I can go step by step to see if there is any unclear or weird things that is happening from this animation, and then I redraw it. But this is kind of what helps me right along, and it's really good because it goes in a frame, in a certain frame per second. I will put it up also on the screen because I don't really remember. And when I've done this, I do the cleanup. I do the same with this. I take the camera that I have and I photograph. So I'm working on a line art right now. So this is how it looks for the beginning, but it will add on some more stuff, and in the end, let's do it like such. Whoops. And it will look something like this, as you have seen from the live shows that I've done. So that is how I use for camera setup. I usually do that to check my roughs and later on my line art to see that everything works fine. So the second question is, what kind of paper do I use? Is it transparent or is it normal paper? Well, both, I would say. I use a sketch paper, and it looks something like this. It's just normal paper that you can find nearly anywhere, and this is, I work with A4 pieces of paper, but it is only 70 grams, not 17, 70 grams, and it's for my light board, which can only take A4 paper. If I had any bigger, it would be all over the place, but this one works really, really well because of it's not thin enough, but it's good enough to do sketches, to do and erase and add things, and it doesn't cost that much either to find. You can find like a block of 70 gram pieces of paper for, I would say, nearly, what could it be, $1? So it's, yeah, I mean, you get about quite well through 2 seconds of animation if you do going 24 frames per second, but I go 20 frames per second, so it's a lot of animation that comes from one piece of paper and one block of paper. and it doesn't cost that much. It works really fine. So I work with sketch paper, which is 70 grams of an A4 paper. So that's a little bit behind the scenes. I hope you find that interesting. Again, I use old stuff to help me a lot when it comes to working as traditional as possible, and not only because I want it to be as traditional as possible. It's more or less I find it comfortable to work this way, and it's so gratifying, or it makes me really happy when it actually works, and to go through the camera, to scan it through, to draw it through. It's what I always have been driven by. This is why I always love and support traditional animation. Well, I can only say that I usually go live here on YouTube as well when I either do character art or I do animation. So why don't you subscribe, and hopefully you can see those sort of things. Or just subscribe, leave a like if this was interesting. Well, yeah, that's it. How about you keep on drawing, and I'll see you next time.